Hello everyone, Stefan here. Welcome to the stream. It's a bit unusual today, the time, but since I have a day off, I figured I'm gonna try a different time. Hopefully, if you guys are on the East Coast, somewhere in the US, might be easier and a little earlier for once. So I'll resume eventually the normal time, but for during Thanksgiving, I may do a few streams at an unusual time. I'll try to stick to a normal time usually, but this is an opportunity. Hey Sheik, how are you, my friend? Already here. Yeah. So today I figured. So yesterday, I finished this guy finally. Ended up actually changing a few things even after the stream, which I almost always do because it's hard to sometimes you have to just leave something to rest a little bit because you lose a perspective on it after a while. You've seen too much. So I like to go back the same day, and I usually see oh yeah, the alert. Yeah, that's great, that system. It's really good actually. Yeah. Do you stream today? Are you gonna stream? Yeah, so I figured that I would adjust a few things. Hello, Marabani. Welcome. In an hour, okay. You know what you're gonna play? Oh, I guess Dauntless, I assume. So a few things appeared very obvious when I looked at it later. The arm, I knew there was something that was still wrong, and I sort of figured it out. But it was mainly due to this hidden arm. It was really hard to get the right sort of read on it because of the mess that happens in that area, and also the head. I ended up changing the head and trying to give more of an actual, more like the haircut that he has in the film, and I changed the color of the hair and a few things here and there, but mainly that was about that and the head. So that's it for him. Path of Exile. Oh, okay. Yeah. It seems like a lot of people are talking about that game as being sort of the what Diablo 3 should have been. Also, seems like a pretty controversial subject actually, because I was on a stream and there was this guy who was playing Diablo 3, and I'm not lying. There was a guy. He came up on the stream and after maybe I think he said hello, and then right after he said something like, I don't know, Diablo doesn't require any skill to play, or something like this, kind of a trolley, but it didn't seem like he was a troll. It was more like he was reacting to something that the streamer said. And the streamer, he went into a rage, like right there. It just snapped on the stream right away. There was like no reaction time. Like in the second, he was like, "I'm sick of hearing this bullshit about Diablo, and go away with your Path of Exile," and he was like really furious, and he started to insult the guy, and then he banned him right away. And then after that, seriously, he ranted against the guy for at least half an hour. He couldn't wind down. Yeah, exactly. And that's what he was saying. He was saying it's always the same thing. It's the first thing they say. They come here and they troll me. And then the next day, I was like, this guy is kind of entertaining it in his own way, you know? So the next day I was on the stream and the same thing happened. Someone came in, um, d- said something trolly about Diablo, and he couldn't resist. He jumped right into it as well. And honestly, I mean, I think they know that this guy is getting really impatient, and I think they do it on purpose. I'm sure they all talk about it and go to this stream, say Diablo is shit, and see what happens. You know, I'm sure that they're doing that because there was no way. I was like, and I even told him like this seems very unusual. Like you have so many, and he doesn't even have a lot of viewers. It's not like you had 1,000 viewers. You had like 20 or so. So oh yeah, it's probably I think this guy is probably well known for that. I don't want to say the name of the streamer because you know I don't want people to think that you know I make fun of him or anything, but I'm sure you'll find it pretty easily. But phew, that was and it seems like there's a big contentious between the two. It's almost like two factions. It reminded the days of Amiga versus Atari ST, PC versus Mac, this versus that. There's always a PS4 versus Xbox. Ugh, it's just um, but yeah, it was just really fun, and but I felt kind of sorry for the guy because I mean he seemed really passionate about the game, and they keep coming on his own stream to troll him on the game that he's playing. It's not really cool. But I'm pretty sure that if he was not reacting that bad, they would stop doing it. They're doing it because it works so well. Um, anyway, what can you do? Um, and I feel like I've seen a lot of streamers. I mean, I don't know if it's I'm sure no matter who you are, you're gonna have people that have a bad attitude on your stream eventually. But I've noticed that people that are very chill and nice, they usually have a community that reflects that. And I've seen viewers, streamers that are a bit aggressive and douchey. They tend to have a lot of trolls and bad people. So I think it's also part of what you promote yourself. Not to say that it's their fault, you know, but I think there's a part of it you have to try and maintain a certain composure if you want to people. Yeah, I think yeah, totally. I think they would get if he was just dismissing them like, yeah, sure. I mean, you're feel free to you know, that's your opinion. You know, like the dude in the Big Lebowski. Well, that's your opinion, man. That's it. Then they would get tired of it. It wouldn't be any fun. But yeah. So speaking of films, like I said, I was thinking of making a more. Oh, the dude! Oh man, it's my favorite Coen Brothers movie, and I can watch this over and over again. You know, over and over again. It's just crazy. There's a beverage here, and so the yeah, I was thinking about making another female character since I'm trying to find more of them. And here's one, Nurse Mildred Ratched from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And he's rock back, exactly. Yeah. Remember when they're on the bridge and then Walter has the bag with the money, and he throws the bag, and the bag falls into, like, across the bridge into the river, and the dude is like, he's like super pissed, and then Walter is like, nothing is fucked here, dude. Okay, nothing is fucked. It's just oh yeah, that's just great. And beyond this, there's a wall of pain. You know that this character Walter, he was modeled after the director John Milius. John Milius, he was that kind of guy, very outspoken, extremely a gun lover, with a booming voice, and he had a reputation in the business at Hollywood. And the Coen brothers, they knew John Milius, and they modeled Walter after him. I'll show you something interesting. You'll see how check this out. Isn't that crazy? And actually, John Willis, when he heard that they did that, he was quite flattered, and he liked that character, and he said that because he's a very good writer more than a director. He was saying that he was glad that he was modeled for a character that was not in a shitty movie that was badly written. So yeah. Yeah, he completely. It's like it's crazy. But John Milius, he was crazy. On Conan, there's a story that he was getting very upset. One of the producers, one of the execs of the studio, and then there was like some problems, and then he went to the guy's office and he pulled a gun on him, and he said, next time you try to fuck with my project, I'll blow your brains out. And that was the last time they heard about that exec. After that, everything was fine. But I mean, you do that now, you'd go to jail. It would be a massive scandal. But at the time, it was the 80s. It was a different time, and that's how he was. Not that I find it that I condone it, but it's just funny to hear that. I don't think he would have done anything, but he was a character for sure. Yeah. This sign of knowledge. Well, I mean, some of it is because I work in an industry that is very close to the film, and so I know people who have worked with directors, and they have a lot of anecdotes and stuff like that. And part of it is because I read about it or whatnot. If a film that I like, I tend to read a little bit about it. So about this film, actually, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's a 1975 film by Milos Forman, based on the novel by Ken Kesey, that I recommend you read. By the way, it's a really good read. And it's just such a wonderful movie. It is my favorite movie, one of the top movies in my list. It's really one of the things that I tell people. There's a handful of movies that you have to see at least once in your lifetime, and I think this is one of them. Actually, it's funny enough, it's President Obama's favorite movie. And his favorite show is The Wire, which I would agree to. So it was directed by Milos Forman, who is very famous for directing big biopic pictures. Big biopics. He did Amadeus in 1984. He did also during 96, I think, People versus Larry Flint, which tells the story of Larry Flint, the founder of Penthouse, who got into big trouble with the censorship, and he even went to jail to fight for freedom of expression in the United States. So a lot of the freedom, the First Amendment rights that the press gets today, we owe that in part to Larry Flint, the Penthouse guy. And also he did Milos Forman did Man on the Moon, which is the story of Andy Kaufman. He was a crazy comedian. It's a really Woody Harrelson played Larry Flint. Yeah, totally. Great director. He was a Czech director from Czechoslovakia, Milos Forman, and he accepted when they told him about this movie. He really wanted to make it, and he said that being raised in a communist country, he felt like he would think of Nurse Ratched as the Communist Party, because she's very directive, and she tells people what they can think, who they are, and what they can do. And he said that it sort of resonated with him on a certain level. And actually, Kirk Douglas originally Kirk Douglas wanted to make the film. He had played in the Broadway stage in '64, I think, and he bought the rights of the movie, and he couldn't get it financed, even though he was a very influential producer at the time already. But couldn't get it financed, and eventually it's his son Michael Douglas that obtained a financing and a deal with a studio. But at the time, Kirk Douglas was already too old. He was 60. He couldn't really play the role, so that's why they gave it to Jack Nicholson. But yeah, Douglas, Kirk Douglas. He was a great producer, really a legend in. So for him, not being able to produce this, it was really hard. He was oftentimes producing, rewriting portions of script on movies that he didn't like. He had a major fallout with Stanley Kubrick on Spartacus, but they ended up making the movie anyway. On Rambo, he was supposed to play Colonel Trotman, but he bailed out because he didn't like the fact that he changed the story, and he wanted the story to end like the film, like the book. And also, but one thing that I like about Kirk Douglas is that he's one of the first directors who challenged the blacklist, McCarthy blacklist in the 50s. So after the Second World War, there was a fear of communism in the United States, and there was a lot of impression that a lot of directors, because they were liberals, and screenwriters, that they were communist. And there was like this big paranoia during the 50s, and it ended up with a blacklist, and a list of 10 screenwriters and directors got banned from working at Hollywood. And one of them was Donald Trumbo, and Donald Trumbo, he wrote Spartacus, and he wrote Roman Holiday, the William Wyler movie. For both, he got the Academy Award for Best Screenplay, and for both, he was under a pen name, so no one knew it was him. He got it's a guy who got 2 Oscars without anyone knowing that he had them, and he took a few years before they finally acknowledged that it was him. And it's when he was on Spartacus that Kirk Douglas decided that he would actually credit Donald Trumbo as the screenwriter, in spite of the studio who wanted to keep him under wraps, because they were afraid of being blacklisted themselves. But before that, Otto Preminger had also credited Trumbo for a film called Exodus. So that was the first cracks that opened the door against the blacklist. There's a fun movie actually about this era by the Coen brothers. It's called Hail Caesar. It's out. It's been like a couple of years now, 3 years. It's a really fun movie. It's a comedy, and it's about this time in Hollywood, about the blacklist and the life of the studios at that time. And there's a film about Donald Trumbo too, starring Bryan Cranston actually. So yeah. So in the end, it's Michael Douglas who produced the film, and they filmed this in a real mental hospital in Oregon, and it was a bit weird because they had real patients, and they some of them were criminally insane, and they only knew after the fact. So it's interesting. But the Milos Forman, he wanted a lot of authenticity, so they had to to shoot in a real institution. So anyway, I'm gonna make Mildred Ratched, very, very famous character. It's probably The actress is Louise Fletcher. It's probably the only film for which she will be remembered. Good thing for her, because actually she she was nominated for this movie in his career. That was the only time, and she won the Academy Award. So 1 for 1. And actually, this movie was one of the only 3 since the Academy Awards exist. Only 3 that got the 5 major Academy Awards: actor in a leading role, actress in a leading role, screenwriter, best picture, and best director. Only 3 movies, including, weirdly enough, Silence of the Lambs. Not that it's bad, but surprisingly, it is one of the 3 movies that got the 5. So Louise Fletcher. So I compiled. I mean, there's really not much going on there either. It's kind of it's kind of like Flash Gordon. It's basically a nurse outfit, and that's it. The only thing that's a little iconic really is their hairdo, which I may not be able to really do properly. In fact, she came up with this herself, and she said that it looked like horns of a devil, and that was why she did that. And but here's Mildred Ratched, like you've probably never seen her. And this, believe it or not, was on the set of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, because she was so upset that the whole cast thought that she was a cold-hearted bitch, that and in fact she was not. She was not allowed to smile or break character by the director, so she had to be Mildred Ratched at all times. And she was quite desperate, that no one would know who she really was. And one day she decided to run around in her panties on the set, and that made people laugh, as you can imagine, and that changed their perspective that they had on the nurse. So yeah, kudos to her to do that stunt. The filming was a little crazy too. There was a lot of Jack Nicholson wouldn't even talk to the director because they had conflicting views, and they never talked directly. They would talk through the director of photography. They would go like, tell him that I said this, and the other guy would be telling him that he needs to do that. Can you imagine? Great relationship. But that's not unusual on films, all these issues. So I'm just I think I'm gonna so there's 2 issues with this. First, it's white, and we have a white background. So in a case like this, it's gonna be like her. I'm gonna have to have a little outline, not something that I really love to do, but unfortunately that's pretty much the only way. And also the other thing is that she doesn't really have anything except the hairdo, anything very special. So I think a lot of it will come from the pose. We can try and express something. Honestly, what I remember the most is her in the chair. Seems like it's really that's sort of it's almost like a throne. That's really her position of power there when she is sitting. Same thing there. But I don't really want to make a chair and stuff. So I think this is a good pose. I mean, but this is to me, this is more like a teacher, like, what did you do? It's not really. I feel like it's it could be something that you see in a comedy as well. It's not necessarily. It can be read in several ways. So I'm not actually a big fan of that. So I think what I need to do probably is something very rigid, like her. This was one of the plays, but even more so a very rigid pose, and maybe holding the clipboard, or something like this, because she has the clipboard all the time. So I think I'll try to do something like this, just simple, very straight, legs legs very straight together, you know, one block, and we'll see how it goes. So let's get into it. See if I can find someone to start with, but there's really not that many characters I think that would see. That's another lab coat, so again with has an outline. I guess I'll just take someone for size. I guess we'll get Ripley. She's not too big, so she might be fine. We'll take Ripley. Yeah, Jim Carrey was great. Man on the Moon, and the Andy Kaufman was such an interesting character. He's got some comedy that is so cringe and funny at the same time. It's crazy, even more than what Carrey. Actually, the way Jim Carrey portrayed it is a little over the top. It was, I think, the real Andy Kaufman was much more ambiguous. You never knew. Sometimes you felt like it was real. You never knew if he was joking or very it made people very uncomfortable, and that was the idea, I guess. But Jim Carrey, he made him a little more accessible, I think. Even though he drove crazy everyone on the set, director wanted to kill him because he was acting like Andy Kaufman. He was pulling pranks all the time, and he was acting out. He was being impossible all the time. He was pushing everyone to their limit. They were all super frustrated with him, but he did it because that's what Andy Kaufman was, you know. So he's probably the ultimate troll before the troll were invented, but he was doing it on TV and everywhere. But he was a funny troll, like a good one. What I'll do is as well, I'll just deset that, and then use the level. This will give us a star. There, and then we'll go from there. So I don't really have this. I'll kind of figure it out as I go. I think I'm gonna try something like this. So we'll see. So maybe a little problematic to get the white to read properly, but we'll see. So as usual, beginnings not gonna be it's not gonna be pretty. On top of that, the actual Mildred has always the sleeves on. Doesn't show her forearms. This would have been actually very convenient for me, but she's not doing it, and I think this is more in character, not not showing the forearms. So I think one thing I could do is suggest suggest the sleeves, and then we'll have hands here. Kind of join Gonna go fast because I don't know if this is the if this is the good solution, if this is the right pose. It's very long actually, below the knee most probably. Quickly set this up. And the legs, I'm just gonna put she has some so some sort of white leggings or on, but I'm just gonna have the standard skin color for now. And we'll so she probably needs to be very straight, which again is not necessarily the most interesting. So lots of things to to figure out in terms of making something that's a bit interesting. Challenge here is not really to make something that looks like her, as it is to make something that's not super boring. I think one of the things here is to try and find those angles. You see, you don't want those when you're doing suits and shirts and stuff like that. There's always very strong angles everywhere. See, and this is what you're trying to identify here. Nothing is because they're actually they have a good cut, they're well done, so they're supposed to hold in a certain way. So you don't want to do something like this that's all like rounded and mushy. Need to find the real nice, define the shoulder, and then go into the arm, have an angle if possible. And I think the more we do that, the better it will look in the end. It's funny because this makes a kind of a cute pose right there. Looks completely something that could be interesting if it was not for her. Fortunately, we don't want Nurse Ratched to be cute. I don't think that's what we're set out to do. So that's gonna be a very long weekend. Actually, I'm off from work up until next week. So I can tell you that I'm looking forward to this. I'm gonna play. I'll have time to play some games for a change. I feel like now there's the problem that I have is never being when I was a kid I couldn't get the games that I wanted because I didn't have the money, and now I have the money but I don't have the time. So there's always an issue with me where I can never really feel completely happy with the video game. There's always something that gets in the way. Yeah, 4-day weekend, exactly. So I think it would be good. So either so I could, because crossed arms crossed on the chest, it's a very good one too. It's very this is, they say, like psychologists, they say that if you're talking to someone with your arms crossed, then it means that you don't trust them, you're defensive. I think it's a bit of crap, honestly, but maybe, who knows. I mean, some people study this, so it might be true, but I suspect that there's a bit of made up stuff there. I don't know. Honestly, I don't have the knowledge for that, so maybe I'm just saying something stupid. But anyway, that's what they say. And so this would be good, but the problem is that crossed arms will be such a mess to read. Very, very even harder than anything. So I'm not sure this is the best. So it's that, or like this. She holds the the clipboard. So we'll have a clipboard in under the arm. But I wonder, I kind of question if the clipboard gives her more of a nice nurse feel. I don't know why why I'm saying this, but it's just an impression. It's probably just me, but I feel like she's holding this thing, then all of a sudden I feel like she's more like ready to help or to do some good work. So I don't know if it's the right play there. Actually, Louise Fletcher, the actress, she was saying that in her head, the way she was playing the character, she really wanted to make sure that for her, Mildred was not just an evil character. She was she was just like a very misguided in her approach of her mission, but she thinks that she genuinely wanted to help people, but got sort of into a power trip that she couldn't get out of, and then was very, so she had good intentions, but eventually turn out evil, which I think is always more interesting to try and even if you're playing a horrible character, to try and find some way to make them a little more human and relatable, because very few people, I think, are genuinely entirely all the time evil, just for the sake of being evil. It's pretty I think it's probably pretty uncommon, actually. I think there are people that have urges or issues that like being sadistic or whatnot, and they're evil because they need this to sort of satisfy a power craving or whatever, but they do it to feel good. It's I don't think they do it just it's kind of weird, but like they have even if it's a horrible motivation, it is a motivation. It's not just completely gratuitous. think if we are gonna turn her, this arm's gonna be really here. The important thing is to resist the urge of bulking her out. We need to make her very very petite, you know. That's probably about right. Wonder I'm still debating that option there. Yeah, I think about this poor guy with his Diablo. Oh man, I couldn't stop laughing. He's terrible and so funny at the same time. Couldn't believe that that he went so angry so fast. It's almost like you felt like there was like a long sort of a history of that sort of reached a boiling point right there. He was kind of it was like a ticking time bomb, you know. Something actually that I always have a hard time to relate to for some reason. The fans, you know, whether you're a fan of whatever. I've always had a hard time relating with that phenomenon. For me, I've never really been a fan of anything. There's things that I really like or that I love, but I think I've never really felt like I needed to you know to defend something that I like or that or I feel or you know I felt offended when someone said it's crap or yeah, never really got that. When you want to try and get those angles to read. Sometimes what's good is to define where the shoulder is. That helps you sort of figuring out the rest. You'll barely see yeah. As soon as someone is 3/4, it's you barely see the arm that's further away. It's surprising how fast it goes away. So it's something we need to think about. And I wonder also about this clipboard, if it's gonna read as what it is. I'm a bit concerned that we might not understand what it is, you know, which then would really screw the entire character. So maybe something, at least something to keep in mind, I think. See that angle there. I'm gonna try to put just an arm. That's gonna help me figure where things should be for now. Honestly, I would love I mean, this is something that I could you know, I could do. It's not like I need to stick to exactly the character in the film, but it's still probably better for the character to have the sleeves. At least this gives us more of an understanding of where things are. And we'll based on that, I can try and paint the sleeves on after that. But let's at least let's move on this way for now. Between today and yesterday, I'm kind of it seems like I'm determined to do to make characters that are less than interesting. But there's just not that many, like I said, that very iconic female characters. So I feel like I really need her. I really need Nurse Ratched. So let's flip her real quick. So I think we're getting a foundation. It's such a shame that the belt is gonna be right in the where we can see it, because this would have been a little detail that we could have had, but it's not where we can see it. I'm gonna pretend that that we don't do the. Actually, let me see. Guess I could try and having maybe more of an angle. So let's say I'm gonna try and get a little bit more of this. Let me take this color. I don't want it to touch both arms. I think it'll be clear if it's just on one. Something like that. And there's a little clip at the top. It's a clipboard, I guess. But again, metal against white, not very friendly. So we'll figure a way. But for now, let's do. So I kind of want to suggest breast really just by having just a bit of a shadow. That's usually what I do with the female characters. It's just a simple way like this to do it. Do I have another example of that? Oh, the other one, something like this, a bit simple. I don't want to obviously sexualize the nurse. We have enough of the nurse fantasy going on everywhere, so that's going to be something people will think immediately. So I need to make it very very tame. And then something that's very important is the color there. But again, it's so small that we don't have a lot of pixels to play with, barely anything. Well, it'll be just enough, but and I'd like to have the 2 points there, 1 and 1, with the. But how do you do that here? You know, and really she can be bigger than that because she's already at the size more or less than she needs to be. If you look at how wide she is, she's already about as wide as Flash. He's you know, he doesn't wear any a lot of clothes, so that's understandable. But even compared to her, see, so I can't really go much more. So that's pretty much what we have to work with. That's it. I have to just deal with that, you know. It won't be exactly the same design because there's just not enough room there. And like I said, it's always something that you battle constantly in pixel art. You just have to find opportunities where you have them and admit when things are just not doable exactly the way you want. You just adapt them a little bit, you know. How long have you been streaming? I was wondering, Sheik, if you're still there. If you want to tell, you don't have to answer, obviously. I'm just curious. Ugh. Guess we're gonna keep it simple then. I want to see if I can go even lighter inside, and maybe we can use this as one extra little value. Something that I need to do too is to go as light as I can on the outline, just enough so that we can tell where the body stops and read things, but light so that it doesn't look like a big, chunky outline. Maybe something like that. This is really not a great shape. We'll see it there. I need to try and make that little offset there to at least to have anything, anything so that it's not completely plain. We'll try to have the little buttons as well. I think we need more of a bit rounded around the hips a little more. I'm going to try and define a separate one leg from the other. So we'll have one leg behind and one leg in the front. So hold on. She has the little white shoes there, and this needs to have a color. I'll show you how I do that stuff usually. Here, not much again to do. So we'll try to suggest 1 foot behind, and 1 foot in the front. and I really want to show that there are low something like that. Then yeah, I'm trying to get this this little offset in because it's just one more little thing, you know, that can help. This point, really anything, any sort of little thing that we can hang on to, we need to take advantage of. There's a little tag for the name. Unfortunately, it's on this side, but I can always flip her because I want to put it where there's a bit more room. I think we'll do a tag a little darker than the outfit, and not that dark, and with a little color so that we understand. It's already way too big there. Just this is enough. So really a tiny design there. It's kind of fun too to do something very extremely small and simple, to try and get something with a very limited very limited space, and it's kind of a interesting challenge there. This morning I had when you go to the dentist, and they put a crown and a filling both at the same time, and I feel like I'm a little weird. It's a little sore and weird. Eventually I may go a little less bright, but I want to make sure it doesn't look dirty, you know. Well, that sort of stuff, when it's dark, it immediately looks a little dirty, so I want to try and avoid that. I'm just gonna copy her there, and see if there's any way to get the sleeves without destroying all readability, which I doubt, but we'll see. See what we can do. That might be okay, actually, surprisingly. I'm gonna keep, I think, this more in shadow. It's sort of an arbitrary shadow. It doesn't really isn't really justified there, but it separates this arm. It makes this forearm a bit more readable. So it's okay to do that, I feel. Let's say she's holding this. Cat just jumped in my lap. So now I have a very limited room to do anything because she's right in my face. And of course, it has to be the time when she wants to snuggle, but there's no time, Cat. I work. What are you doing all day? You don't work, you don't do anything. You need to work. No, I don't think she's very determined to do any work today. She doesn't understand why I would not stop everything that I'm doing right at this instant in order to take care of her. Because that's what you do, right? You stop everything. And she's pushing my hand. Oh, God. She's not big, but she can be surprisingly strong for her size. When she pushes, you really feel it. Tootsie. She's called Tootsie. Not like Tootsie in the movie, even though for me I thought that was that. But when we got her in a shelter, she was 2 months old, very very small, and there was this little girl. She was I think the kid of the people who had the shelter, and she knew all the cats, and she was naming all the cats as they came in. And so I asked her, "Oh, can you hear her?" I think you heard her purr in the mic. And so I asked her what was the name, and she said Tootsie. And I was like, "Oh, like in the movie." And of course the kid didn't know what I was talking about. She was like, "No, Tootsie, like the Tootsie Roll, the candy." And of course, since I just came in the United States, I had no idea what a Tootsie Roll was. So she must have thought that it was very weird and a bit retarded. Because she was like, "Everyone knows the Tootsie Roll. It's a candy. Don't you know that?" So, yeah. So that's Tootsie. So we kept the name because I didn't feel like changing the name that had been given by this little girl, especially since she had been pretty smart about it, because Tootsie, she's a calico tabby, and so she definitely has the color of a Tootsie Roll, and she rolls over all the time when she's happy. So that's kind of actually a perfect name for her. Now she's trying to eat the wire from the headphones. Great. So it's crazy, but you know, we're already at a point where most of it is already kind of done there. You know, it's so ridiculously small that Like I need those sleeves to be a little less wide at the wrist, because you look at this and actually I guess I could show a little more hand. I don't think it would necessarily hurt. I'm just trying to suggest some very simple folds. Again, I can't really do too much, otherwise it'll look very messy. But we can still have a bit of something. That clipboard, I go for a slightly different color. And I will give it a bit of an edge. That should help. Doesn't need to be a lot, but enough. Actually, I think one thing I mentioned yesterday, I like when characters have watches and stuff like that. It's good to define the wrist. So when I try and give her a little watch. So here I can't really go too much super high contrast. We'll see if we can do something. Yeah, just something like this. So we still see a little bit of wrist maybe, and then the sleeves. Assume that she's holding this thing. Maybe this hand is above. Yeah, it's pretty similar to that. Since this sleeve is in shadow, we'll put this hand in shadow as well. And we can consider that maybe the clipboard is actually shadowing this this sleeve, you know. Yeah, I think it's fair game to do that. So I kind of want to do the quickly the trying to get onto the head now, because I feel like it's going to be such a hit or miss with the head that I'm a bit worried that a very specific shape. Don't know if I'm going to be able to get this this weird little horns almost. Plus we need the We need the little hat, which is gonna be a bit hard because again it's on white, so we'll have to do something like this probably. We need less. Maybe here we can suggest something. And for her we need an ear. I guess that's not too bad. It's kind of like the idea, roughly. It's funny because this head to me looks like she's looking up for some reason. Don't know that I want that, you know. I think I need to make her more severe. Maybe showing less mouth, you know, less lips might be better. So that's not too terrible. It'll probably be a quick stream actually, since it's a fairly quick character. Even though it doesn't really necessarily mean that it's much easier, because there's not much to do. It's just that it's if you get it, you have less to worry about, not that much things to paint. It's just a matter of getting it right once. So something that I wanted to show you is a very easy way to do this sort of stockings. Is that how you call this? Stockings or something? I don't know. For some reason I have it's my English, I don't remember. Anyway, I'll duplicate the legs and then fill them with white, And then just by playing with the opacity, I can determine how opaque I want the stockings to be. See, it's so simple, but it's a pretty effective trick. We still see quite a bit of skin tone feel. They're actually also they seem a bit offset, almost like a bit pink. So I can try to offset the color a little bit, and maybe we need those colors to be a little tootsie. Allez, I had to push her away because she's just too demanding. Now she's not happy, so she'll scratch the carpet because she knows that I don't like that, so she does it on purpose. I'm not gonna let you troll me. I won't even look. Now she left because it didn't work. Didn't react. And that's what you need to do with the trolls. Don't feed them. Don't give them attention. Here you need to go quite dark, surprisingly, because even though it's a very white, the inside the cloth, it's always a very dark. The shadows, they go very deep. Even if you look at this, look at this line, how black this is, almost like a black outline, because this casts a really strong shadow underneath. So you need to be quite high contrast in that sort of stuff. And what else? She's got the little pens, but it's in a pocket. Well, actually, I could have them there. That could be a nice little detail. Do I have a better? Yeah, so it's that. She's got a red pen. I feel like the red pen is a good little detail to have. I'll suggest some kind of I don't know if it's clipped or if it's in a pocket. It's not very clear. Looks like it's, yeah, there's a pocket. Okay, so there's two pockets actually. So we like this a lot. Actually, we like the pockets. They're great to give a bit of of detail. Pockets are great. Same thing here. We suggest that there's a bit of a recessed part there. She also has those buttons there, so we can try to suggest this. We'll just make them actually they're gonna have to be very close to the surface there. I don't know if I want to add any buttons there, but just trying. Yeah, I guess we can do that. So I don't think we need this one anymore. It's actually going pretty fast. So that's good. She looks tiny, but she's not that small actually. It's just that she looks that way. Because even very straight, she's same height, so she could be, I guess, a little higher. So we're gonna try give her just a bit more space. See if we can have it around here, because any space we can have in the torso area is better. We need to find some room to breathe there. Yeah, I think that 1 pixel is not too much. We need it. And we can even give her 1 more in the legs, I feel. Let's try. Yeah, I want to her make sure that she looks, like adult, not too much like a kid. Too short, and she might look too young. So that's the other thing. So that's yeah, I think this is better. Yeah, that's fine. It'll probably be quite a quick stream. She's got some sort of pins or something. wonder if I should try and have this little detail there. And this is more like for fans, you know some characters by heart, and it might give them just the little hint that they need to recognize her. So I'm not too happy with this. I feel like it's probably something better we can do. It's a bit too wide, I think. So limited what we can do. Because bear in mind that she's not entirely front. So if we want to suggest that she's a bit turned, then I have to actually I might have to give her a bit more room on that side. Let's see. Yeah, turn her just a bit. So this is actually I think pretty close from what can be done. Because unfortunately, it's not like I have a million of options there. And I think it's okay to accept the the simplicity of it. I would be tempted to try and hide, find some more detail, some more rendering, but truth is there's really not much to do there. It's kind of it's part of it. For some reason, the that little hat and that whole nurse outfit always freaked me out. I think it's very disturbing. It's like nuns, the outfit that they wear. The coif is very weird. Lots of strange shapes and angles, and this little shape there, I hate it. I think it's very disturbing. I don't know. I feel like I'm glad that they don't do that anymore. Is didn't make you feel good. I think. Yeah, very strange. To see if I can push the shadows a little more in this area. To find the right amount of contrast. Because too much is not good, but not enough, it's not good either. So try to find a balance. To overlap the clipboard a little more. Trying to define the edge of the sleeve there. And this is close now. Feel like this is getting really close to what we can do. So flipper one more time. That one white pixel might look like the little glint of on the metal on the clipboard. I think we can do that probably. We have our pen, we have the watch, little name tag. So the name tag, there would be something in on it, but the only thing we can do is having just a little suggestion of a different of two different tones. So it's not too plain, but can't really obviously write anything or even suggest writing. Way too small. But this part of the color in shadow, a bit like this, you know. If we assume that light comes from this direction, then this part of the neck is in shadow, and this part of the color there as well gives just a little bit more dimension. And I think maybe her skin tone too dark. It's nice for contrast though, but I think we can go maybe just a bit lighter. I feel like this is a bit better from a distance. She had this tan, so this is a bit better, I think. Kind of looking for more to do there. I think there's not much. Can't really find anything. I mean, we got everything. Guess that's probably it. Very quick. Yeah, under 2 hours, including the little introduction. So maybe an hour and a half or so. Which, you know, is I guess a normal time for a fairly simple character. Even though those may sometimes end up very annoying for some reason. They can be much harder. They end up giving you some trouble. This time I guess didn't really happen, but it could. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be done. Just wonder if sometimes I just do this to see if we can have her. This might look a little more straight and forward. It's a little less rigid. So it might actually be a good thing to have a bit of an angle there. Just this. It's probably enough. Or not. I wonder if I want to keep her very straight because it's part of her personality. I have a hard time deciding there. Well, I guess, okay. If we do that, then we still need to not to mess this up too much. Yeah, I think that's probably it. And should this go a little lower or not? Can't tell. Seems pretty long. The other nurse has it above the knee, but she's younger, so I don't know if that will make a difference. No, maybe that's okay. I'm still debating this last little thing that I've done here. Yeah, I think it's fine. I guess maybe it's a bit both actually. Maybe that's a bit of both. This one straight and the other one at an angle. Yeah, I like this better. I like this a lot better actually. Yeah, that's all right, I think. Um, I think maybe the legs are a little bit too sideways compared to the body. We're going to make them a little more equal. Yes, that'll be better. Those are the worst angles, but let's see. It's funny the legs in and at an angle. Yeah, this needs to be really straight, and that's it's annoying because it's not a nice. They're too straight. They don't look like legs, you know. Still fighting this a little bit. Tricky to find a good position for the legs. I think we're gonna make them a little more straight facing. How does that look when we flip it? Not sure. Yeah, legs are always harder for me to do than actually, hold on, there's one thing that we need to do. Let's have one foot a little less far into yeah, that's better. I can't find a good solution. Ah, it's a shame. Got almost done, and this thing is going to cause me problems. It's really unfortunate. Can't believe how hard this is. Don't want the legs to feel too big, you know. Problem is that they're too much at an angle. That's the only way I see. When you turn them, you can really feel the angle. It's a bit too much. So they need to be actually very equal, which is really the worst. It's really not fun. Just pausing a minute there, trying to think of a good way of doing this. What if okay, same guess I have to go for the simplest of everything. Pretty much exactly the same legs and crazy. No, I think I really don't have much choice there. There will be a little bit of an angle and that's it. Can't really maybe trying to get the foot like this. Maybe that would be better. So one foot is this way and one foot is this. Yeah, I think that's the proper way. So now it looks a little more balanced and not facing one side. Yeah, I think that's fine. Ah, finally. Sometimes the simplest thing end up the more complex. Okay, so I think that's gonna be it for her. Very simple character. Let's name her. So our first name is Mildred Ratched. In the book, she's never called by her last name. We never know her last name. She's always called Mildred by everyone. And we can give her a little shadow. Yeah, and maybe can raise this. No, this thing. Just give it a bit of a difference in. Oh no. Like that. Do I need to move them left a bit? No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think she's fine. Let's check on size one more time. Yeah, I think that's appropriate. Seems right. She stands very straight. It's full height. Not too big. Yeah, I think that's all right. And one last thing, sometimes that I will do, just to give it a bit of because those lab coats, they are sometimes not entirely white. There's just a tiny bit of color to them, a little bit of a off yellow, and sometimes it's just a bit nicer to introduce just a small tint in a design like this. Otherwise, the gray is very sad, you know. And even if she's not a good character, that gray is just not very interesting. So we can add just a bit of just a little tint. So add a tiny bit of red in the shadow. No, it tones. probably don't even see it on the stream, but there's a bit of a difference in color there. Just a little bit of a tint. It's very, very light yellow, almost white, but it's not quite white. Oh. Actually, yeah. Yeah, just a bit of a tint in it. It's really not that much, but it helps to give just a slightly bit of color in everything. Yeah, I think that's gonna be that. I can't really think of much more to do at this point. We have the whole outfit, the little clipboard, watch, the little hat. So I think that's yeah, I think that's about it. Nurse Ratched. So that's one more character for that crazy game that maybe will never get made, but who knows. I'm determined to try. We'll see what happens, but at least keep going, keep pushing, and keep making new characters. And soon enough, I'm gonna get into Unity. That's gonna be a big endeavor there. But it's interesting. I've done that in the past, coding and stuff. So it'll be interesting to go back into it with more modern tools and modern code that's not as close to the machine that I was doing when I was doing that stuff on 8-bit and 16-bit. Okay, so I guess it's gonna be it. Quick. Oh, I don't need this guy. Another flashcard. Yeah, it's an old one. Yeah. Yeah, so quick, relatively short stream, 2 hours, 20 minutes. Enough to make at least one character, which is good. At least we had something done. Thanks everyone. Thanks Marabani Sheik for always being there and giving us support. And I will stream now on Friday. I think I'll resume the regular schedule on Friday. Probably I think I'll probably do the same thing at night, 9. I don't know if it's worth confusing people and changing time all the time. So I think I'll stick to that 9 o'clock p.m. on Friday. Yeah, and in the meantime, when is it? I don't know when we're supposed to do that turkey or whatever. I'm not too into Thanksgiving. I don't know if it's supposed to be on Friday or Saturday. What do people do traditionally? I don't know. But regardless, I wish you all a good Thanksgiving. We'll see you maybe each other on on Friday for another character, and if not, then maybe next week. And then in that case, you have a good weekend, a good Thanksgiving break, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.